Or 10 seconds.
Wow.
Five, 4, 3.
Wow.
Oh, show him the bluff. Show him the bluff.
Show me a
Show him the bluff.
Be on tilt. Oh my god. Oh my god. I bet 7,000 and he bluff raised. Garrett, would you have called? Holy shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know about your end. Like,
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
So gangster. They're gonna love that on
That's the bluff of the year.
Oh my.
That's the bluff of the year. You said kings. I was just like, that's fucking full of shit.
Why would I lie?
This meeting is being recorded.
This meeting is being recorded. Look at that. We've
I
got
like to come into the office and work.
everybody, our continuing run good of getting people from the Hustler Casino Live expanded universe continues. We're not going to mess around with any recapping. We can jump on LeBron James at a later time. We've got Nick Airball here. You all saw the lead in. Nick, many people are saying that's the worst fold they've ever seen in their life. Everybody wants to ask you about it. You were gracious enough to come here first. Tell us about it. Go.
Not my best fold. That's what I'll say. I mean, I didn't think he was bluffing, and so I folded it. I just really didn't think he was bluffing. Like, I just really did not think he was bluffing. So, props to Rampage. He owned me.
Well, that about says it. How many interview requests have you had so far before you finally gave in and decided to come on?
Like a million. Like a
million. Yeah. Some of the big boys, but we got you. All right. That was some good TV, man. Yeah, it was some good. Did he like it when you grabbed his shoulders? He seemed a little. Do you guys know each other?
Yeah, we've played like a couple times and we're friendly, and yeah, it was fine. He's very like nice, and like I slow rolled him a little bit the day before. We were just messing around, so I think it was all good.
All right, and the I don't know how many hundreds of times you've watched the clips. I've watched it a few times. The look on Garrett's face after the fact.
It was a gangster bluff. That's all I can say. It was very gangster.
That was pretty good.
I have a lot of respect for the big bluffs, so props to Rampage.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, you're back in Cali, you're back in business, you're back on stream a lot. That particular hand and just generally the way you carry yourself at the table on stream has opened up some new doors for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of private home game invites and other stuff like that coming in. Yeah, playing on stream is fun. It's also kind of weird because you get recognized and then people invite you to weird things and everything. But it's fun and games are great. A lot of action. I like the action. I like playing the big pots. So
all right.
So you believe that Garrett's reaction was because he thought it was a great bluff, or he thought you made an awful fold?
Probably both. I mean, I don't know, but the reaction was pure. I thought it was I just thought it was gangster. I mean, listen, I bet 7,000 into 4,000. Like, I bet a lot. I bet more than that was in there, and then he raised. Like, that's pretty strong. So I butchered the hand, obviously. I should have just done a million things differently and should have just closed my eyes and called, which was my initial instinct, to be honest. But I just did not. Here's the thing. Everyone has told me after, like, oh, he was going crazy. Rampage was going crazy the whole stream. He was buried, all this stuff. I didn't know that. I had gone to dinner at Javier's, had a couple drinks, had a nice meal, rolled into the Hustler, and just jumped into the game. So I had no idea what was going on. All I knew is that Rampage usually plays like 2-5, 5-10, which is like what I played with him before is 10-20. And then like the day before that, we had played like 25-50. So like I know he'll play bigger, but I mean, this was like 100, 200. So I thought for sure he would be less insane in the 100, 200 game. That was a bad read, another bad read by me. So, I mean, what can I do?
So great. All right. I know naming names isn't usually a thing that is gets you invited back into private home games, but if you could share a story or two of something fun that's happened at those tables that none of us will ever be at, that'd be appreciated.
Sure. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like getting into poker, you obviously watch like high stakes poker and poker after dark and all these things. And so like I played with a bunch of these people from like the early seasons of high stakes poker, and it's just like really weird. Like showing up at a game that's not that big, like 10, 20, 20, 40. And then there's just some like multi-hundred millionaire there from like high stakes poker. So like a lot of weird things like that. But, I think my favorite story from any home game is, this guy shows, it's a small game, like 5, 10, 20 or something, nothing special. This guy shows up and he just puts like $100K in cash on the table, just brick. And he says, I'm all in for the next hour, every hand.
That's some old school Brad Booth shit, right? Isn't that what was going on in that game?
He won. I got crushed. I got crushed.
The guy moving in did well?
I got crushed because the moment I saw a card like above a jack, I'm like, okay, I'm all in. Like you haven't seen your cards, and I just lost every all in for an hour, and then he bounced. I was in so much pain.
Oh wow, he hit and ran, but his action is going to get him invited back. And
he didn't hit and run. He didn't do anything wrong. He said, "I'm all in blind every hand for an hour." He did that, and he left. I mean, he announced it. He did it. He left. I'm all for that. I wish I would have won one, but
gets you invited back for sure.
Yeah, I'm losing because I can't beat the guy who's playing blind.
So, what's your schedule? How often are you playing?
So with work, it's pretty hard for me to get like into a starting lineup just because like I can't get off. Like people, I don't know if everyone knows, but like to start the game, you have to be at the hustler by like 3:30 because it's on delay and getting organized and everything. So like that's really tough for me to get off work that early. So maybe every few weeks I'll take an afternoon off to play like in the starting lineup. Usually though, like once or twice a week I'll go after work at like 6 or 7 and just be first up, and if someone busts, jump into the stream or play after. And to be honest, playing after the stream is really fun because everyone kind of like loosens up a little bit. People aren't as like there's a distinct difference between when the cameras are on and when the cameras are off, and how like a lot of people feel, and you can tell that people are more comfortable after and stuff. Like there are a lot of people like the chat will like rip them a new one, like, oh, they're so quiet, they're so awkward, they're so this, they're so that. And then the cameras are off, they're just super personable and friendly. It's just a little bit of like shyness, I think. So one thing I like is that. But in terms of how often I'll be playing on the stream, so like I played yesterday, didn't really have anything interesting happen. I guess I played one big pot, but nothing, like I broke even. And then I'll play on Saturday. We're doing like a recorded game, so they're going to record a stream and then use it at a later time, so I'll play in that one. But maybe once every few weeks I'll be in the lineup.
I didn't prep you for this, Edonk, but since we have a bona fide poker playing superstar with us, could you briefly break down that big pot you played last week, and Nick will tell you how you played it wrong?
Okay, so they just opened up Rivers Casino in Chicago. Well, it's in Des Plaines, but might as well be Chicago, whatever. They start the day off. It's the inaugural hand, and we have Phil Hellmuth announcing it, whatever. So they
what are we playing? What are you playing? 25-50?
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna backtrack. So I was playing 2-5 at the time. On the table over from us, they were playing 25-50. This is where the inaugural hand started. They gave everyone $1,000. All 9 people, $1,000. Most of them were just like casino randoms that they were probably, just trying to say, hey, come over here. Here's a nice little perk for punting off 50K in Baccarat, whatever, right? So a couple people, and at this point, I just thought it was a private game. Not really anyone. I don't really play that high, never. Anyway, so Couple people bust, and then a friend of mine takes the seat, and I was like, kind of like, holy fuck! Like I didn't realize you could even take that seat. I didn't know the game was on the board. It wasn't on the board. So then I list myself. So and I hop into the game. Phil Hamid was playing, but as soon as I sat down, he got up. Honestly, I think he was a little intimidated, but that's a whole nother story. So,
Hey, can we do the hand now?
it's called a lead up, asshole.
It's a very, very long lead up. Let's do the hand.
I'm just telling the story. So I pick up queens, under the gun +1. I raise it to 150.
How much do you have? Like 5K?
Hmm?
You have 5K to start?
8,500. I bought in for 6. I had 8,500 when the hand started. Made it 150. Gentleman on the button, he made it 5 or 5 1/4. I decided on a call. Not really sure. Probably supposed to 4-bet. Anyways, I decided on a call. It's comes Queen Jack.
Is the guy like a pro? Is he a recreational player? How deep is he?
He has me covered. He has like about 10 to 12K. I don't know if he's a pro or not.
But he seems competent.
You learned after the fact that he's very snug, right?
Yeah, I learned after the fact he's like a super uber nit. So anyways, it comes Queen Jack 5, 2 clubs. And I check and he bets. What's that?
It's a good flop.
It's one of the better ones, yes. So he bets really small. He bets like 3 1/4. So I guess not really small, but third pot. I end up raising to 10 1/4 or 10.50 rather. And he calls, and the turn is the 6 of hearts. So now it's Queen Jack 5-6 or Queen Jack 6-5. I don't know. It doesn't matter. 2 clubs on the flop. And I bet 2,800 into him. Yeah, pot. And he rips it after like 20 seconds.
Nick, what do you do here?
I tank call.
Okay.
Especially if he's a nit, I tank call.
Okay. Anyway, so I mustered up the courage.
Tank call just for the lulz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did muster up the courage. And I made the call. And then I looked at my buddy who's in the 1 seat. I was in the 2 seat, and I said, I hope 3 queens is good. And he kind of like was like, yeah, sure, right, whatever. And the river was a jack, and the gentleman. So it was the jack of clubs, right? So this guy probably probably shows his hand, right? And then I see 1 jack, and then I see another jack, and it was fun times.
I think you played it fine except the river.
Yeah.
No, this guy's been on TV, Donkey knows what he's talking about.
I would have played the river differently.
Yeah.
So anyways, fast forward like 4 hours, the motherfucker plays 1 more hand, like no joke, 1 more hand, right? And then he like gets racks, right? And at this point, like I just tilt my balls off. Like after the hand, I was just like, fuck, like that sucks, right? But now I tilt my balls off. So then I said, well, fuck. I said, if I would have known you would have only played 1 more hand in an hour, I probably would have just folded the queens on the turn. and then he says some like stupid shit, whatever. And then I just said, I go, hey man, like you battled your heart out today, man. You left it all out on the felt. I go, great job.
You forgot to mention the part where he stood up and took a picture of the table
Oh yeah.
to capture the fact that he got 4 jacks. And,
Yeah. So after he was super horny and rolled over the jacks, then he like got up and like took his phone and was like, I was like, holy fuck.
All right.
Hopefully he got my face in the picture. And if so, I want the picture.
All right. Well,
but I never want to see you at a game ever again.
Uber Knit, if you're watching this, please reach out so we can get a copy of that picture. All right, let's do some sports picks. You ready? Mr. Airball?
Yes.
We've got the two biggest NBA games of the year are tonight. Both are win or go home. Go to the playoffs.
Oh, right, the play.
Yep.
We might have a cameo here in a second.
Last time around, Edonk, if you remember, you picked first half, second half, and game winner for Clippers and Suns, and our race to negative 500 stars is really heating up. You got all 3 of those wrong, so we're at minus 498. We're almost there. Oh my goodness. Look who's here. Hey, I've got written on my notes a special shout out to, he disappeared. Oh, and he's back. Jeffrey from Florida. Jeffrey from Florida won a fan contest and actually got a tour of the Fade the Mahoney studios yesterday. So
wow, that's big.
And I was very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, it's a first-rate facility we have here. Anybody who's really interested in some deep Golden Tee 99 accomplishments, Jeffrey and I both hit an albatross on the same hole in the same round yesterday. You've never seen
Where'd
it
you guys
before.
play?
You'll never see it again. In the studios, we've got a upright Golden Tee machine in the.
I thought you guys were actually out there playing and you hit back-to-back albatrosses. I was very impressed.
We did on Golden Tee 99 in the Fade the Mahoney studios.
Very well done.
All right, let's pick the 2 games. You ready, Nick? We'll let you take the first one. Hawks are at the Cavaliers. Hawks somehow are favored on the road by 2. Win and you get to keep playing. Lose and you go home. What are you thinking?
Hawks.
Okay, how many stars?
How does that work?
1 star. You're only doing it because I'm making you pick. 5 star. You know what the final score is going to be, or somewhere in
1
between.
star.
Boy, you got a lot of gamble in you, Mr. Airball. A lot of gamble.
If you got Mick on the show and not Nick, I'm just gonna fade on out of here and go back.
All right. A lot of
I
gamble.
don't know anything about these games.
You think that stops Edonk? My God, we're at almost minus 500 stars. All right, Edonk, Clippers favored by 4 against the Pelicans at home. That's the late game tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be another classic Fade the Mahoney situation. A gentleman fired a decent-sized wager this morning on the Clippers, so we are going to go Pels.
Okay. How many stars on the Pelicans?
4.5.
4.5.
Wow,
All right.
you're confident.
Yeah. Well, we're stuck 498 stars. And what do we tell the kids about chasing, Edonk?
Always chase and don't bet like a fucking pussy and put 1 star on
1
shit.
star.
I don't, honestly, look through the previous bets. Have I ever put 1 star on?
They're pretty
Why?
rare.
I
Why?
hope I win.
Why even bet it for 1 star?
All right. Those are our picks for the day. We're going to try to get out of this 498 star hole. A couple of messages I want to pass on to people. Found some offshore numbers for this coming season of Major League Wiffle Ball. So Trevor Savage is going to make his return soon, and we're going to do some picks on Major League Wiffle Ball. That's really exciting. I've been in preliminary discussion. There's an internet YouTube superstar by the name of Joey the Mush, who, from what I've seen, is a terrible sports bettor. I've had some contact with his people. He's agreed to come on in the next couple of weeks. So we'll probably get some awful picks out of him. Already did my shout out to Jeffrey from Florida, who bounced already. And lastly, public service announcement. I just finished my taxes for the year. Turns out you can't deduct a massive negative star totals on your taxes. It wasn't very helpful for me. So just, we gotta do better. We gotta chase better, Edonk. All right.
You tried?
I tried. I couldn't find a place to input 498 negative stars. That wouldn't work. So, all right. That's the show. Nick, you're the best, buddy. You got, do you know when you're on next? When you're on the show on HCL?
Well, we're doing a recorded game on Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
but I'll probably play like, I'll probably be first up next week for a couple games and maybe get on stream, maybe play after. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Edonk, you got anything else?
Yeah. So, Feldman DM'd me and he said that they would play 10-handed anytime you wanted.
With some of my recent performances, I wouldn't be surprised. Fucking just losing every hand.
That's called the Wesley treatment, as we saw when Mr. Feldman was on our show. All right.
How pure is Wesley? Just running up 10K to 200K and just needling the shit out of Garrett. I mean, that is great TV.
It was an
How can
overplay.
you not love that?
Overplay.
I'm all for the needles, the slow rolls, the torture. Like, that is good TV.
Wesley is the best. Maybe one day this show will fall in his lap and he'll become a fan and we can get Weslly on the show. That would be great.
That would be good. You get some good stories out of him. He's a little too unfiltered.
If you ever see the guy and want to show him how good you make this show look, he could do the same thing.
I'll do my best.
That's our Friday show. Thank you, Nick Airball, for coming on. Good to see you, Edonk. Say good gambling. Good luck, everybody.
Bye, guys.